Hey guys, back with some classical chess. That's right, that's right. So I'm playing Mr. Smith-Morra 2100 and we'll start with e4 as usual. A man's gotta stick to what works best, right Fisher? Okay, so I saw that my opponent plays both e5 and c5, and against both of these openings I have some gambits. So let's see which gambit I'll play. Or maybe he goes for something else and surprises me. Or is he really surprising himself? Yeah, I made him wait about 2 minutes because I was trying to fix the board issues from earlier in the recording. Yeah. Okay, so what to talk about? Well, there are always so many things to talk about, but I don't want to start branching out into some topic like physics, let's say. No, I don't want to bore you. Got that reference? No? Crickets? Okay, so yeah, I don't want to talk about something else before because he'll like move in about a minute or so, and then I'll get stuck with that topic. See, I'm starting to go off on a tangent now. Well, something I can talk about is a really nice game by Lila, game 61 on the TCEC. You guys just check it out. It was a very funny, like just a complete blind spot by Stockfish. The game was going on fine, and then suddenly Stockfish missed. Okay, yeah. See, that's why I didn't want to talk about something else. So the Smith-Morra, let's go. I saw that he plays against this. He plays e6 now, which is frankly quite bad. We have an acceptor today. Yeah, he played in two 15 plus 15 games and a blitz game, I think. Here on this move without accepting the pawn. I think he got some preparation, and I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he played e6 now. E6 now. No, here. After d4, he played e6, which is not good because I can go for Benoni with d4, with d5, and it's kind of a good Benoni because I'm able to get knight c4 in and haven't occupied the c4 square with a pawn, so yeah, it's a relatively decent kind of Benoni. Okay, this he's going for an e6 setup by accepting the pawn. Pretty much there are two big variations inside this line, either a6 and going for b5, or going for a kind of Scheveningen structure, which then morphs into a Svechnikov later. Okay, if this isn't clear now, it'll be clear later. Let me just make sure the recording is working. Yeah, seems to be working. Okay. Yeah, so, okay, since he's taking time, the setup I'm talking about is this. Okay. Then he castles. Well, before castling, he has to play e5 to prevent me playing e5. So that's the kind of Scheveningen Svechnikov setup. Another setup he could go for is knight c6, a6, b5, and bishop b7. This is the queenside setup, and it's probably the best setup against the Morra, theoretically. Probably. And it's not easy for white to maintain equality in that line. And actually it's so not well analyzed that yeah, most books have bad recommendations against it, or okay, so he goes for knight c6. So not making his intentions clear, he can still go for both. Now bishop c4 is the traditional move in both lines. Now it's arguable, I mean, there is a line with bishop e2, but this is no way to play the Morra. This is maybe if Stockfish Though, actually, talking about the TCEC, both Stockfish and Leela played this queenside setup. This queenside setup against the Morra, and they both drew the games. So yeah, the Morra isn't that bad theoretically. But there's a stronger theoretical option against a6 b5, but that may be too drawish, which is going for bishop e2. But the problem is that in this move order, okay, haha, he goes for a6. Okay, so maybe I will uncork my novelty against this line. Okay, so I castle now. This is still very familiar territory for me. And now if he plays b5, he's going to face my novelty. So I have a novelty in this line. It's, I think, the only way to make this queenside fianchetto system playable for white. And by playable, it's pretty darn good, I have to say. Not just playable. I mean, it's theoretically equal, of course, but yeah, white is having lots of fun. We'll see what variation he goes for. Now he could still return to some kind of Scheveningen-Svechnikov structure if he plays... Well, no, knight f6 now is met by e5, so it's kind of flimsy. Maybe queen c7 now. Against queen c7, I believe the move is just going for queen e2. Right? Wow, I haven't faced queen c7 in this move order in such a long time. I forgot what the move is. This is something, yeah, if you want to play the Smith-Morra, you have to know the theory pretty well. I got crushed so many games against much lower rated opponents because they were playing normal moves, and the moves I had to find were a bit difficult. Yeah, but when you know the theory, it's so much fun. What I'm finding in classical games is that most people don't accept. This is the first classical game I play where my opponent accepts the gambit. The first one. In Blitz, actually, I found that many people accept. Much to their chagrin. Yeah, accepting... Actually, when I face the Smith-Morra, because I'm a Sicilian player, I do accept it. And I play this queenside fianchetto variation setup. And I found that basically no one, and something pretentious, a friend of mine, he can confirm what's going on with white players who play the Morra. When we play this fianchetto system, virtually no one plays the correct response for white, and they soon find themselves in much weaker positions. Though the flavor of the Morra is such that that even if you're playing a bit badly as white, you can still swindle your way into a good position because it's so complicated no matter what you do. But yeah, when I was losing to lower rated players, oh no, I think he's offline. Oh no, that sucks. Well, hopefully he'll come back. I'm recording. I don't want this. Yeah, so as I was saying, it's what happened when I was losing to much lower rated players in the Smith-Morra when I first started playing it. I was kind of getting back into the game by, you know, kind of swindling my way back into the game. But the problem was I was just so disgusted by how well they were playing, which is kind of a weakness of mine. Queen c7! Oh my god! Lol. Yeah, I haven't faced this in ages. This move order, Queen c7, this move order. Dang it, I forgot what to play now. Yeah, well, anyway, what I was saying was that I was so disgusted, which was a weakness of mine, or still is, that I just felt dejected and played whatever kind of move and lost eventually, even though I was still fine. So here in the Smith-Morra there's one sacrifice you should know, and that's the knight d5 sacrifice. Well, all open Sicilian players should know it, But also in the Smith-Morra, this sacrifice is even more common than the open Sicilian. So knight d5 now. Knight d5 now. The point of knight d5 is, of course, after black takes. So knight d5, black takes, and I take back. This file to the king is open, so I can use my rook here. But in this specific instance, it's not working. Because when I push d6, he can just take with the bishop. His queen has moved, so he can even play king d8 in some cases. Though that's usually not so good. So against this, do I continue? I continue normally, I believe, right? He hasn't committed to a Scheveningen kind of structure. This is why queen c7 now is so confusing. I should have known he was going to play queen c7 because he plays this kind of setup against. I found that against here. Let me go back. e4, c5, and now 2f4. He actually plays queen c7 here, or e6, queen c7, something like that. I saw that in one of his games. Because when you're doing preparation for your opponent, see, this is, if I were more cognizant of this, I would have noticed that he played the setup, so he might play it in the Smith-Morra. So I feel even worse now, because if I didn't look at his other games, I would have been like, okay, I wouldn't have known otherwise. But now, it was possible for me to know, so kind of feel, yeah. Okay. Stay focused, Mark, okay. So, the thing about queen c7. If he plays knight f6 here, or actually queen c7 here, I castle, he goes knight f6. This is the Siberian trap. I go knight b5, he goes queen b8, then I push e5. This is known as the Siberian trap, because if white isn't careful, there's this mate on h2. But it's not such a good opening. For black, I mean. But the problem now that he's played a6, I can't play this knight b5 idea. So if something happens with knight f6, and then eventually like knight g4 and knight d4, I don't have this knight b5 idea earlier. So that's a crummy aspect of the position. So I believe this is still within the Scheveningen-Svechnikov line, right? But is it with this move order? This is what I can't seem to remember, because shouldn't he have played d6 earlier? That's my question. Maybe not, actually, maybe not. Okay, well, queen e2 is definitely the right move. So I'll play queen e2 and think later. Right. Okay, so this is the Scheveningen-Svechnikov kind of structure, but with queen c7. I think this is chapter 3 in Mark Esserman's book. By the way, Mark Esserman's book, I've talked about it previously on the channel. It's an excellent book, and you should definitely take a look at it if you want to learn the Smith-Morra. The style it's written with, it's so beautiful. I haven't seen an opening book quite like it. But it's only the second best opening book, and I'll tell you why. Because I seek instructive value, and it's very high on instructive value, but it's only second best. But me giving it second best is quite high, because okay, I've looked at about 100 opening books. I've surveyed them. I haven't finished a chess book yet, but I've surveyed like about 100 chess books, and by surveyed some of them, I've went over 40 pages, so that's not too little. The Esserman book, I've gone over about 100 pages. Yeah. So anyway, from what I saw, The best book in terms of instructive value, the opening book, is the one by Lev Albert and Albert Chernin about the Peerts. It's called The Peerts Alert. So the Peerts, P-I-R-C, the opening, alert, with an exclamation mark. It's absolutely wonderful. If you, like, I can't even fathom how well it's written, because it's like written as if by psychologists. It's like they know how to teach. It's amazing. It's amazing. I wouldn't imagine chess players being so well versed in the sciences and psychology. Okay, that's a bit unfair of me. I mean, there are great chess players who are psychologists, but it's at the same time, I haven't ever seen a chess book written like this, so it's quite telling. Maybe they're not applying their psychology knowledge to chess, because they have like these key tips, these memory. Funny, I'm talking about something about memory, and I forgot what it was. They call them memory markers, I think. We have to like repeat what you learned and stuff like that. So it's a very excellent book for teaching, for learning. And actually, I was saying it's an excellent book for teaching because it actually helped me improve as a chess coach. In fact, it made me grow as a person. That's how great that book is. I wholeheartedly recommend it. So my opponent seems to be offline again, which is, I don't know. He came back the first time around, so okay. We'll just wait a bit. Yeah, so I think he has to play bishop e7 now. What's confusing me about this move order is that he has to have had knight f6 before, no? Shouldn't there have been knight f6 played earlier? This is what I can't seem to remember. Curious. I do not know. Because this line, I believe, there's knight f6 played. God, I can't remember. There should be knight f6 played. I'm trying to remember. Knight f6 played. I play e5. Am I being stupid and it's not from the e6 move order? Bishop c4. Knight f6, now I go e5. So it's d6. He has to commit to d6. This is why this is weird, because then I don't have e5. Yeah, so he has to play d6 now. I castle. He plays a6. I go queen e2, and now he goes queen c7. That's the line. And then he's able to play knight f6 without me being able. I go rook d1 then. And then he plays knight f6, and I don't have e5. Yeah, that's it. So the line is bishop c4, he goes d6, I castle, a6 to prevent knight b5, queen e2, queen c7, this rook comes to d1, knight f6, I go bishop f4, and he plays e5. Or knight e5 sometimes. But both are wrong. That was the Machulovich game in the book, Asserman book. Yeah. So this is why I'm so confused now. Because he can't play knight f6. And he hasn't committed the d-pawn though at the same time. So I wonder how that affects things. But he's never able to play d5. I mean, in like the Sicilian dragon, if he hasn't committed to d6, that's an advantage because he can play d5 in one go. But here he can't ever play d5. So I'm confused. I'm a bit confused about the move order here. Yeah. Well. Well. So okay, since he's not here, I guess. I don't know where he is. I can show you some other ideas. I guess I won't be showing you the novelty yet, though I have no problem revealing it. No problems revealing it, of course, but I want to reveal it in the game. It's kind of more fun like that. But it's not like I'm keeping secrets or anything. I don't like keeping secrets. Well, at least when they have to do with knowledge. Wait, he's back? Ah, he played bishop e7. Great, awesome. Yeah, so I don't know. Just I don't know. Well, my first priority is stopping knight f6 and castles, I guess. Yeah, but I don't know. It still says he's offline. Is he playing moves from the void? Yeah, so do I play e5 now? e5 now seems good. But the problem I'm seeing, maybe bishop e3 now. Wait, let's think. Yeah, maybe bishop e3 is even better. But then knight f6, something like rook c1. I don't want him to be able to castle so freely. e5 now, I don't like d5. Takes, and his bishop gets a new diagonal. Though, that may not be so great for him either. Because I can play bishop g5. Takes, he gets the bishop in, then I play rook c1, rook a1. Yeah. So maybe e5 is fine. Then I follow up with bishop f4 or something. Maybe. Because I don't want to play bishop e3 and allow knight f6. Though bishop e3, knight f6, knight a4... that doesn't seem to work, does it? I mean, after b5 I can play knight b6, and if takes on c4 I can take on a8. That should be good for me. But knight f6... So what I was saying was knight f6, bishop e3, sorry, I mean bishop e3, knight f6, knight a4, b5, knight b6, b takes c4, knight takes a8, queen b8, and knight b6, and I should be better. But, because my knight gets out, but what I'm worried about is knight f6, bishop e3, knight f6, knight a4, and something like queen a5. That is a slight concern. Okay, well. Okay, wait, let me think a bit still. I'm pretty sure it's going to be e5, but let me make 100% certain. So bishop e3. These are my two candidate moves. I'm not going to play rook d1. It's not relevant to the position, kind of. Bishop e3. It's not relevant because I mean it's just like, okay, I'm following the standard Scheveningen Svechnikov plan in the Morra. I just put my queen on e2 and rook on d1. Okay, yeah, but I'm not thinking about this concrete position, which is kind of novel in a sense, because this isn't in the book, I believe, actually. Yeah, anyway, it's kind of a novel approach. So the rook on d1, what is it doing really after knight f6? It seems senseless. I'm just basically a pawn down for nothing. Well, no, not for nothing, but the compensation is way less than if I play something more aggressive like bishop e3 or e5, which completely clamps down on black. So e5, my concern was d5, I take on d6, he takes back with the bishop or queen, probably the bishop. And I play bishop g5, preventing knight f6, because he doesn't want me to take and take back, and then okay, he gets the open g file, but I mean he can't castle, and I'm the aggressor in this opening. This opening is very aggressive, and yeah, I'm the one who has the advantage. Well, I mean this position, the resulting position, not this specifically. This specifically, I don't know. So, but bishop e3, knight f6. Okay, the problem is I'm blocking the queen and I can't play e5, and even knight d5 ideas lose strength because the queen is blocked. So yeah, I'm going to go with e5. Let's go for e5. Just blocking the development of this knight. If it goes here, I will probably take, then follow up with knight e4. Knight e4, is it working tactically? No, it's not actually. I'd like to play this, 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 and this. These are my next 4 moves, if allowed. If I'm not allowed, I have to revise my plan slightly. Something I was thinking about, maybe knight a5 now, but then I play bishop d3, and my bishop gets a new diagonal to point at. This may be relevant because he's probably going to castle kingside. Well, of course, he might leave the king in the center, but of course casting queenside is basically suicidal with this semi-open c file. Actually, it's all open with the open c file. This isn't a standard Sicilian where the c file is actually semi-open. It's a completely opening. What? Shout out to my buddies Lucas and Lakin. Luca and Lakin. Very awesome members of Team Lichess. And that's a funny username. Hey, I am Psycho. Yeah. Well, depends what kind of psycho, right? If it's a psychotic individual or a psychopath. The former I pity. The latter I have no pity for. And Swan Dog also on my team. Hisset Dunk. He's a French player. He's been a big supporter of the Lichess Slow League. He's a supporter of online slow leagues in general. And Well, he's basically my kind of guy. He says he comes from a um, very ethical background, so to say. He says his family is ethical, and it's kind of like a genetic thing. And he's well known for fighting cheaters, for using his programs to report cheaters. Well, not his, but programs he has to report cheaters. And that's quite awesome, actually. I wish there were more ethical people in this world. So shout out to him too. It's good to have like this kind of internal police. Yeah, and it's I like his fighting because most nice people, they just like being nice with everyone. But I like his strength to fight the bad guys out there, which is very important. B6? Wow! What? I'm confused. Sorry about this move. Why not b5? Okay, I get you want to maybe develop your light square bishop here, but why not b5? That strikes me as odd. Very odd. Why not b5? Strange. Doctor Strange. Wait, what? B6. I mean, b5 gains a tempo. Maybe he doesn't want me to gain a tempo because my whole idea is to play this, 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 and something like this to open up the c file. So maybe he doesn't want me to. I don't know still, but b6 is also. I mean, when you play b5, you leave the square b6 weak, but now you actually have a weak b pawn. So that's strange as well. I don't think there's much reason not to play bishop f4, right? Bishop f4, if d5 or something, I just take. And if f6, I can actually take. And if he takes, I take here. I could even consider taking the bishop, but I take here and then promote to a queen. So I win back the rook. So yeah, bishop f4. I find no reason not to. And then I play rook c1, rook a c1. Strikes me as odd. Okay, he could play maybe knight a5 now. That's interesting. But yeah, maybe in that other line I'd get the bishop to b3. But if no, in that other line after b5 I should probably play bishop d3, right? Because I don't want him to get knight a5 in. But even knight a5 is fine. Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm a bit shocked. Bishop f4. I could have considered bishop e3 even here in this position, intending knight a4, which gains in strength. But then he plays rook b8, so yeah, that's not much to my liking. Could be 5b mouse slip. I don't know. So let me whisper. b5, b6 I meant. b6 strikes me as odd. Did he not want me to gain a tempo by playing b5? Yeah, it's unclear to me why. b6, strange move. This kind of structure is seen in the hedgehog, but it's generally a weak structure. You don't want to have pawns like that, since they really don't have any protection. Both of them, actually, they don't have any pawn protection. Well, in theory, the b pawn could have a c pawn protecting it, but this position does not. So that's kind of one of the weaknesses of the hedgehog. Also the fact that you kind of sit like this in the hedgehog, which is kind of annoying. Kind of annoying in the sense that you're always on the back foot. I played a really terrible hedgehog game against a 2000 rated player who I have generally a good score against. But yeah, I played the hedgehog against him and got absolutely massacred. Okay, I being my tricky self, I had chances to come back, but I was so disgusted. As I told you, that's one of my weaknesses, and I didn't come back from that. So I used the hedgehog as an occasional weapon, but now I'm not going to even use it as an occasional weapon. Well, I might if I learn it. The thing is, you can't play an opening like the hedgehog without theory. That's like playing the Smith-Morra without theory. So yeah, it's not really the opening's fault. Somewhat the opening's fault, but it's also mine for not studying theory. Yeah, like the Svechnikov, let's say. Like I still think, like let's say a 2500 could make a draw if he follows the main line of the Svechnikov against Carlsen, because I don't really see many options for black to deviate without going for a much worse position. And the guy is 2500, not like some Patzer, so he's capable of navigating his way through the complications, even though he's playing Carlsen, who's Carlsen. But at the same time, if I had studied like more theory or knew more games in my game against MN L8 the past week, check out the video if you haven't, please. Yeah, I was getting kind of outplayed from the opening because I didn't know the theory as well as he did. And it was a basic Svechnikov. It was the main line, so I should have known that better. So I can't blame the Svechnikov that much, but also kind of like if I'm playing the Rui Lopez and I forget some line or something, I won't be punished as much. And that's the problem with playing these kind of second tier or third tier openings. But they're darn fun, are they not? Yes, they are. Alright, so he is back. I don't know what's up with this connection. Is it rude for me to ask? Probably is. He still has plenty of time. 27 minutes is a lot. And that Svechnikov game I was talking about, I spent like 20 minutes thinking. And my opponent spent like 25 or something also. On one move. But it was a very critical move. Actually, I might have spent even less than 20 minutes. And he may have spent even more than 25 minutes. I don't remember. These are the kind of details a good memory should forget. Still, move 10 though. Relatively normal opening. What I'm glad about is that if he had prepared this, he's clearly out of book by now. So that's good. But I mean, this is a very normal move against this kind of setup because he's going for a kind of Scheveningen Svechnikov setup, so I don't know if that threw him off guard. I figure him taking on c3 was maybe an over-the-board inspiration. I'm not sure. Because he always used to play this e6 line I was talking about now. But that's just entering a kind of Benoni that's easy to play for white. Funny enough, Asserman in his book, he he dedicates like one page or half a page even, maybe one page, let's be fair, to this line with d4 takes, god, d4 and now e6 and then d5, this kind of Benoni idea. He dedicates like one page and says it's so easy to play for white, and basically this isn't the book for it anyway, because it's kind of a Benoni structure. But well, Asserman is a person who I think has played like every opening under the sun, at least somewhat, because he's used to playing lots of blitz, so he has more experience in chess than the usual I am, I guess. No, though maybe that's a contentious statement. But he's played lots of blitz and Harvard Square, so he's used to switching up his openings, I guess. So what I'm getting at is that he's used to, or can at least play the Benoni. But for me, never having played d4, which I have started this year, I mean previously, yeah, it was actually before this year even I started. Yeah, about September 2018. To further my chess development, I started learning, branching out. But still, like here, in the introduction of this video, I said e4, obviously, because I play nothing but e4. But soon, when I get more experience, maybe like another year or so, I don't know, I will start playing the other openings I'm training on. Anyway, my point is that for me, it was much more difficult to play this Benoni kind of structure. And I felt kind of... wow, knight h6. I guess he wants the castle, sure. Can't deny that. Wonder if I should open the g file now or later. Or never. Okay, let me finish what I was talking about. So it was difficult for me to play this Benoni kind of structure. But I lost, so when I lost a game against a 2100 who I was very surprised played this opening. He's actually the Lebanese champion now in classical chess. So when I lost that game, I was quite annoyed. But I got him the second time around. We played a rapid game later, about actually 2 weeks later, I think. And I beat him in a very nice game where I played a Rookluft idea, kind of like that Caruana game. Or actually many Caruana games. I think he's the one who's made the most Rooklifts, maybe. Though no, actually Maxime Vachier-Lagrave is famed for his Rooklifts. Okay, I'm going off on tangents too much. So that was nice. So if you're playing the Morra, you need to get some experience with the Benoni. That's the whole point of my rant. Okay, let's get back to this position. So knight h6. I wonder if I should take immediately or wait. Take immediately or wait. By waiting, I mean playing rook ac1, of course. Should I play rook e1 first? Ah, that's interesting. Maybe queen d2. Also interesting. Okay, now's the time to think. I kind of like my queen on e2, though. No, maybe queen d2 is better. I don't know. Yeah, taking. I have to be really careful then that he doesn't get anything there. Not a decision to take lightly. Taking Rook AC1 on the other hand, I'm worried about. Rook AC1. He plays knight f5. Yeah, so rook AC1, he plays knight f5, and he's kind of threatening knight d4. So maybe I play rook d1 against that. Get the Morra rooks in the game. Okay, then am I still worried about castling? Not really. One thing he might be prepared. No, f6 is bunk. Or is it? Actually, I need to think about f6. Of course, I'm not going to play bishop g3 because then he plays knight f5 and I seem like an idiot. So what about f6? So if I play rook ac1, f6, rook ac1, f6. I'm thinking of taking on h6 then taking on f6. I guess. Then I can play knight d5, which should be strong. Yeah, that should be good. Yeah, that's fine. So rook ac1, f6, takes, knight d5, forking these two guys. He can't take because the file is open. So his king is pinned. So he plays something like this. Queen d8. And then the story isn't over though. Yeah, it is. I take. He takes with the queen. Yeah, maybe not so good. Okay, c1, f6. I mean, I don't really have to play anything against f6. I could just continue with rook ad1. Takes, I take back, and I'm fine. Okay, we're going for rook ad1, rook ac1, I guess. And if knight f5, rook fd1. I can dig it. Let's go. And if he castles, I want to be able to play knight e4, so how do I arrange that? Knight e4. It's kind of difficult to arrange, to be honest. Maybe I have to play it as a sacrifice or something eventually, I don't know. Now if he castles, I just take on h6. And probably follow up with queen e4 and then bishop d3, I guess. So knight f5, I think I should play rook fd1 pretty quickly. But I will think a bit. Something I talked about last video. You don't want to play too quickly always. You must spend at least 30 seconds to blunder check. Especially, I mean, in a classic time control, of course. Don't spend 30 seconds every move in blitz. Obviously. Yeah, but sometimes you might want to play a move almost instantly or like in 5 seconds if your opponent is in severe time pressure. And that's usually a stupid thing to do. And the trap I've fallen into. Even recently. In my more mature chess career. But it can be effective sometimes if you're aware of what you're doing. So don't do it in general, but sometimes if you're a good player and or consider yourself good, and you're like very careful and for sure aren't going to fall into something you fall into before, you know, you might be able to not actually get away with it. It's not something bad. You might actually be able to use that to your advantage. So it's one technique. I used this last time against MLN8, but he was able to withstand the pressure. But it turned out to be effective. I didn't blunder that move, and I played it relatively quickly, so he went into further time pressure. Okay, so... But my opponent isn't in any time pressure, so... Let's think. Okay, I have queen e4, but that steps into bishop bd7. Queen d3 seems stupid because of knight a5, and then I have to retreat. I left the retreating square for my bishop. I occupied it. So rook a d1. Am I worried about something like g5? Not really. He said hesitantly. Yeah. And this also helps prevent d5. Okay, so this looks good. I'll probably play knight e4 next move, then maybe knight d6 check or g4 or something. g5 might be an interesting pawn sacrifice. Maybe. But I always have like these knight d5 ideas now. Well, not immediately. The question is, where do I want my bishop, on what diagonal? Yeah, obviously the d3 diagonal. But I'm thinking if... so if I play bishop d3 immediately, now I allow him to get knight d4 in. So that's something I should consider. But then I take, he takes back, and I have queen e4. If he's castled, that's threatening mate and he loses. While he plays knight f5, I play g4. Or pick up the rook. So, knight d4, I'm threatening the rook and the knight. And if he plays knight c6, that seems like quite a loss of a tempo. Yeah, so I'm quite liking my chances. Also, in that line, queen e4 protects this bishop. And this bishop being unprotected kind of annoys me right now. So, that's good. Going to take a short break and I'll be back. So has he moved yet? Nope, he has not. 20 minutes. He's kind of getting into some time pressure. A bit of time pressure. Not much though, not much. Still, we don't move 12. It's kind of early to think that much. I don't like his setup at all. b6 and getting that knight to f5. Just think they helped me more than they helped him. I was checking my cables here and the webcam is almost getting unhinged. Yeah, but no, don't mess with something that's working. Or, more colloquially, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. A concept many websites should make should implement. Yeah, so many like Windows. They just roll out these updates and whatever, and they can be avoided. Oh, h5, wow. Yeah, preventing g4, logical. Yeah, they can be prevented, but no. No. They want to give you the illusion that they're working. Okay, well, this makes g5 way less likely. And if he plays h4, I'm very happy to play h3. Very, very happy. Because then I even have like knight h2 and knight g4 ideas after h4, h3. And while him castling kingside is also out of the question now, and he won't be able to castle queenside, so he's going to stay in the center. So that makes his position even weaker. So overall, I'd say h5 is a very bad move. Now he can't castle. Achieve much. I need to learn how to much of an attack with h4. h5. So 94 now, principled. The only consideration I have is maybe I want to play knight d5 at some point, but no, this doesn't work at all on the structure. So yeah, 94. I don't see why not. If g5, I can take with this second knight, so that's an added benefit. And I further prevent d6, d5. Actually, I make it impossible. So seems like a very good move. What about knight h4? Let me think about it. What do I play against knight h4? So I play knight e4, he plays knight h4. Probably check on d6. I have an even stronger move. Knight e4, knight h4. Always think of the forcing moves first. But no, I was thinking right. I was applying CCT correctly. Checks, captures, threats. So knight e4, knight h4. I was thinking of the check first. But I saw that there was a better move, which is a capture. So I went down the hierarchy of CCT. So I take... He takes with the bishop, and I check here. And he can't castle even if he wanted to. I mean, him castling here isn't bad, but when he loses castling rights, it's also his king becomes more unsafe. Because smack down in the center, it's maybe safer, but here or here, it's more unsafe. So that's a benefit for me. So yeah, knight 94 should be killer. I don't see what his reply is. It's somewhat sad I can't play g4 to dislodge his f5-9, but I don't think that's a problem at all. And he might play something like queen b8, and this lining up issue is starting to tell. So I really like my position now. Yeah. So queen b8. Well, now I have to ask myself what's my next plan. h3 g4 would be bonkers and bad. I think I have to play something like knight d6 eventually. Maybe I can slow roll it with a3 just to give my bishop the a2 square, because now he won't ever castle kingside, so my bishop coming to d3 is less relevant. Now it's actually more powerful on this diagonal, where it attacks the sensitive f7 point. So that's very important. So maybe I need to play a3 after he plays something like queen b8. But I don't want to give him time also. How do I attack? I think knight d6 check eventually needs to be played, but how do I do that in the best way possible? I don't know. Yeah, knight d6 check. He takes, I take. How does it help me? Well, it opens up the e-file, that's for sure. But other than that, it's kinda contentious. A funny sacrifice is bishop d5. Whoops. Okay, just recording from my laptop for now, out of sheer laziness. So let me make sure I have this. I don't mess up the board. Is the board showing? Yeah, it is. Can I make it better? Okay, now the file above is starting to get cut off a bit. So like this I think is best. Yeah. Because the previous recording we had board issues. Okay, anyway. So a funny sacrifice I was thinking about was bishop d5 takes knight d6 check. God, arrows. Knight d6 check. And if he takes, I get check-in. Okay, but this only works in the current position. I think he'll play queen b8 now. Probably. I'm not sure. Bishop b7 is a very logical move also. Against bishop b7, what do I want to play? a3? Am I playing a3 against that? I just ask him what his next move is. He seems really tied down. Like, what's his plan? I don't have a concrete way to take advantage of what he's doing, but I mean, what's his plan? Eventually he'll play a bad move and I'll win. I'm considering a3 against that, not capitalizing immediately. Ah, it might be so. Wesley. God, the way Grishik played today, the FIDE Grand Prix, or Grand Prix for the English people out there. In that tournament today, it was the knockout stage, or the tie breaks for the second round. It's all a knockout stage. And Grishik played against Wesley, so he played very brilliantly. His interview was hilarious. You should check it out. Hilarious. He thought he played a good game the first game, which he very well did. But he offered the draw, or I think Wesley, I don't know, someone offered the draw, or there was a repetition, I forgot. Well, actually, I wasn't watching the end, but yeah, and he thought he played a good game and stuff. And then he opened the chess bomb and he saw commentary about the game. Grishik chicken, you should have kept on playing, you had -2 and whatever. And he was slightly annoyed by that. Slightly annoyed by that. It was funny. See, you should be careful about the comments you put online. The top players may actually be reading. Yeah, I can imagine why he'd be annoyed, right? And he did play a very good game. The people on Chess Bomb, they just see -2 evaluation. Okay, Grishik is winning, why didn't you play on? Sometimes -2... Especially, he was playing his Svechnikov, especially in Svechnikov positions. That's like when Carlsen drew his 12th game. They were like, oh, you should have played on, whatever. Nope. Actually, a more normal Carlsen would have played on. Actually, but he made the right decision. And it was proven with the 3-0. Even if he had lost, I think he would have... I mean, if he lost the tiebreaks, I think it would have been the better decision. Man, I can't imagine the pressure of a world champion. You have this title and so many people are crawling from the from the abyss to just poke you with a stick, to have something to poke you with. So all of that is riding on the line, and you won't be world champion for 2 entire years, which kind of sucks if you've built your whole mental image on that on that title, and you can lose it all in just a single day of rapid games. That sucks. It's also tough for the challenger. I mean, he held 12 games and then he has to play the rapid portion. But I mean, for the world champion, it's even worse. Yeah, bishop b7. I'm just considering a3 now. I need to think, but the thing is, I don't want to immediately play knight d6. That helps him out. And him castling queenside is suicide, and he can't castle short, so... yeah, a3 seems good. My point... yeah, my point is just to ask him some questions. Especially now he's starting to delve into deeper time pressure, so... and he has to find a concrete plan, so it's not going to be easy for him. Not sure how useful it is, though. It should be good to... since I won't be deploying it to the b1 h7 diagonal. Or, well, likely won't castle. I mean, he might. Did I just type like won't castle? Starting to speak like a teenage girl. An American teenage girl. Like, he totally won't castle. Oh god. If he castles, probably I check then. And aim for something like knight g5. Or maybe like the immediate knight g4 end. No, I have to think. Yeah, I'll have to think about that. So yeah, just keeping my options open. I think this is a very tough move for him to play now. I'm surprised how many strong players don't really have an easy setup against the Morra. I played the 1900 in Classical and he had a very bad setup against the Morra. I mean, I get that they don't see it. Okay, I get that, but you should at least have like something just to get you a game going or something. Like play the Alpen, play 2 knight f6 here. Everyone's doing it against me in Classical. Take c3 and now play 3 knight f6, which Esserman calls the noxious 3 knight f6. Yeah, I mean, it at least goes into another opening. There are still some aggressive lines for white, but they're nowhere near as aggressive as these lines. As you can see, look at my position. I'm a pawn down, but look at my position. Insane. And do you feel the spawn black is up? I don't, to be honest. My pieces, all of them, make entire sense. His, some of them do, some of them don't. He has nowhere to castle. They have a very aggressive attack, and this open c file is mine also. So, for a pawn, that seems very well worth it. Very well worth it. So now that he's thinking so much about 7 minutes left, I should be careful. Okay, to play some forcing moves and time pressure to make him sweat a bit, but also not to play too quickly and lose my advantage. So again, it's what I was talking about earlier. Yeah, so what's his next move? I think he should toggle with rook c8, to be honest. Rook c8, and I might toggle myself with bishop a3. No, rook c8, oh, he castled. Excellent, excellent. Okay, can't I just play knight g5 now? Takes. I want to play knight fg5 to threaten queen takes. The question is how strong that move is. Pretty strong. So knight g5. If takes, I take back. And he can't take here. And I'm threatening this, so he has to play g6, and that seems suicidal. Ah, I need to be careful of this square, don't forget that. So knight fg5. But knight fg5 I have the threat, so he can't play knight d4, I just take the pawn and I'm mating. It's going to take a lot to convince me not to play knight fg5 now. Thing is, my bishop isn't protected, so... Okay, that may be an issue. What I like is that now queen b8 I can take on d7, so that's another excellent thing. Okay, so what do I play now? Bishop a2 or knight fg5? Maybe knight fg5, g6, bishop a2. Seems insane, but works, I think. Thing is, knight d4 comes with check, don't forget that. And it also attacks f4. Okay, I need to be more careful. Okay. I need to be more careful. See, this isn't nowhere near over. Maybe just bishop 8. Bishop a2, of course, I don't like. This is very important. Let's get it right. Bishop a2 I don't like because now that he's castled, I want my bishop to be on this diagonal. Let me just whisper my opinion about this position. Yeah, so my candidate moves bishop d3, bishop a2, and knight fg5. Well, also knight eg5. It is a good move. I think so. Well, maybe not. I want to prevent d5 also, let's not forget that. Knight eg5 I can discard based on d5. Doesn't seem to work for me, I think. Okay, so knight fg5. Takes. I take on h5 and I'm winning. Presumably. So knight fg5. Takes and g6. That's actually not so bad. Because I can come in on the dark squares. So knight fg5 takes, knight takes g5, g6. I can maybe come back, threatening check. If he plays something like knight d4, I check. He plays up, I play queen d2. I have queen g5 to follow. My bishop is always protecting the a2 square from this check. So that seems good. So knight fg5. What about the immediate g6? That's more of a concern. Immediate g6. Could go crazy with a g4. No. The problem, by the way, Asserman mentions this. The problem with the Morra is the d4 square is very weak, and my opponent is capitalizing on it. So this is why I'm thinking so much. This is the problem in my position. The d4 square. So how do I make it better? Knight f g5, g6 simply g6. I don't know how well I'm doing there. I don't like d3 because it blocks my rook. Bishop d3. Bishop d3 I allow d5, right? No, I don't, because I have the check. So maybe bishop d3. Yeah, it seems likely I'll go for bishop e3 now. Bishop d3 now. Okay, let's go for bishop d3. Let's go for it. Should be good. He can't play knight d4 because I take and his queen is pinned. Well, that's actually not the reason. Because knight d4, I take, he takes back. I could take here, but then he takes here with check, I take back, he takes back here, and we're equal on material, so... Okay, then I have this maybe, but it's not so clear. But knight d4, takes, I can just play this with 1,000,001 threats on his queen, the bishop doesn't really have much scope. I have knight g5 ideas, bishop g5 ideas, knight f6 ideas, so yeah, that shouldn't be lost for him. So again, a kind of quiet move with bishop d3, making use of his time pressure and making use of, well, the position basically. What's important is he can't play d5. So what I'm concerned about in this position is d5 and knight d4. If I can prevent these two kind of counterplay moves, I'm doing well. So this is what I need to do. Just need to prevent his counterplay with... I thought I spelled that, but the spell checker doesn't know the word counterplay apparently. With knight, any... d4. Yeah, so if I prevent these two ideas, I should be doing very well. So it's going under the 5-minute mark, okay. 6 is maybe a move I should have given more thought to, right? But it's so weakening on the light squares. f6 just kills these light squares. Like f6 h5, such a bad combination. Such an ugly and bad combination, yeah. Ah, interesting. He still can't play d5 for the very same reasons. Now we might have something with... I think I'll just retreat here to allow... yeah. To allow my rook to prevent this break. He can't push g5 or something like that, so... And my next move is knight f g5. Yeah. Knight f g5. And then g6. And I have to think again. g4 seems very risky. Bordering on stupid. Or it's actually stupid, to be honest. So now he'll play rook c8 almost definitely, I think. Maybe my next move should be knight d6, right? Right, but I'm afraid he can take with the bishop. Then I seem stupid, right? Yeah. Maybe one idea is to go for h3, g4. But I'm always though so worried about this bishop becoming a monster. Not an easy decision to make, I think. Not an easy decision at all. Yeah, rook c8 as I expected. Okay, so now he kind of wants to move his knight. I could play b4 and just kill his knight. That's one possibility. Maybe h3 and ask him what he's doing next, right? Okay, knight f5, g6. Knight d6, actually I do get an attack on his knight, which is maybe interesting. I like knight d6. But I may have problems getting somewhere. Knight d6 takes. Knight a5 takes. Knight g5, g6. Okay, he's dead on the dark squares, but seems to be holding for now. And knight e4 he can take with the bishop, maybe, I don't know. So do I continue the restriction game with b4? b4 I'm afraid of a5. And b5 he could just go to b8 with the knight, which isn't, or a7, which isn't that bad, because he is attacking the a3 pawn. So b4 just leaves a3 so weak. Not sure I want to play that. It also is starting to liberate his pieces, so that's not swell. Okay, so I want to see if knight fg5 wins first of all. Doesn't seem to do anything at all, to be honest. Maybe one not so stupid idea is even just playing knight c3 now. Seems stupid now. Or the second knight to g5, knight e g5. Knight e g5. Maybe he has knight h4. Nah, he doesn't. Because I at minimum get knight h7 in or something. Or just knight takes and queen h5. It's so annoying. There are rook d7, knight f6 ideas, so I shouldn't forget those ideas. But obviously they don't work now. So knight f, g5, g6. They should be dominating, but I'm not seeing the win. Just not seeing the win. God damn it. Not going to play h3, that's stupid. No, I'm not playing h3. Intending g4, yeah, just killing myself on the right squares. Even though that might be possible. But I mean h3, g4, okay? He moves the knight. If I want to play something like king g2 and rook h1, hello! So I don't like that idea. Not just in principle because I'm opening up, but also because concretely if I want to follow up with something like the rook plan, my king is in the way. Then I'd have to play like king h1, rook h1, king h2, rook h1, then king g1 or something. That's insane, no. And then the second rook would kind of be hanging, my king in the middle. No. So something like h3, g4, have to play king h2, rook h1, king g1, that seems stupid. And if I play h3, g4 and king g2, rook h1, then my king is in the line of fire. So I don't like that idea. So knight f, g5, g6 and just wing it. What I don't like about knight d6 is that it opens up queen f6, which may or may not be a good move, but it probably is a good move. Can't friggin' break through, god. Maybe bishop g5. Maybe bishop g5, because it's always the bishop that's... But he seems to have tactics against that. I don't like my queen being so vulnerable. You know what? Maybe queen d3. Maybe queen d3. But then knight of g5 doesn't make sense. How about knight g3? Why have I not been considering that move? I like knight g3. I like knight g3. Wow, I haven't been thinking. I didn't even have that as a candidate move. Seems silly now, right? How did I not even think about that move? Wow. 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 I didn't even think about that. That's kind of a fork. And he can't play something like knight d4 now because I takes, and my bishop is protecting. So that's actually an argument after takes for taking here, even though knight d4 then isn't possible. Kind of. Something I need to consider at least. It's 1040. I think there's a Carlsen Simul in Norway, in Denmark, I think, today. On May, what is it today? May 26? May 22. Yeah, I went 4 days into the future. May 22. Yeah, so this is kind of a fork. G6 looks insane to my eyes. It may be possible. G6 I'm considering just sacrificing, to be honest. G6 is one candidate move. Taking, and knight a5 is another. Knight a5 immediately is stupid because it loses a pawn. So, there are some options here. Well, two. Yeah, takes. So what do I take with? I like having the open H file also. But also my bishop is unprotected. But will it matter? I don't think so. Also, I get more support for G5 this way, with this bishop being here. G5 is never really an option. Let's be clear about that. So now I guess he's going to play knight a5. After which we have something like knight h4. Is knight h4 crazy? Knight h4 takes, and I threaten mate. Takes, check. Takes. Can't calculate. So knight a5, knight h4. Seems promising. I'm not so sure about the merits of that move. I don't know. Knight a5, knight h4, takes on h5. Well, g6 I can always take the bishop and enter into a better endgame. But I don't want to do that. Probably take on g6. He takes, I take with check. Unclear. At least have a perpetual there, but I don't want to draw. Obviously. Oh, radical. Well, there's no way I'm not taking this, right? No way. I open up my bishop. That seems like a collapse. Of course I'm taking this. No way I'm not. They get these kinds of ideas in. Or these. They don't work for now, but in the futura. If you play something insane like g takes, I mean, I at least have bishop to g6. At the very least. And probably just knight h4. This seems insane, what he's doing. And I can play bishop a2 even at some point. Not sure. Okay, here my confidence is starting to rise. I have queen e4, queen d3 ideas. Probably queen d3 is the more accurate square because I attack. Oh my god, he's crazy. He's crazy. So knight h4 now. And if f5 I just take. Bishop g6 seems a bit out of place. Yeah, so knight. Knight h4. Okay, maybe I played that too quickly. I have plenty of time, and yeah, I get he's in time pressure, and I should be maybe upping it up a notch. But I mean, his position is lost. I should think of the best way to make him lose. It's not like it's a drawn position like the MLN8 game, where I was slightly worse, or maybe I was slightly better. During the game, I thought I was slightly better, but yeah, it's not like that. This is completely lost for him, so I should take more time to kind of end this game. f5, there's a consideration, of course, of taking even, which might be possible. I mean, taking f5, so I don't know. Probably just knight g6. Takes. Okay. He does get to trade one pair of rooks. I mean, okay, good for you, but then what? So do I trade the rooks first? I think I do. Or not. I take. What does he play? f5 loses a piece. Threatening mate. I have no idea. I have no idea. Let's see. f5, he loses a piece after I take. Okay. So I could. I could just play knight g6 now. Okay, here's where I have to think about the best way to end this game. So material is equal, his king is dead, but I need to be careful to convert this. Knight e5 was a good move, just bringing a piece to the defense. An excellent move, in fact. He's not threatening rook h7 because I have the bishop on b1 is doing a good job covering that. But at the same time, I want to get my move in now. So if I take on e5, I don't know about losing the dark squared bishop, but it's annoying. His knight is annoying. Maybe then I have something like knight g6. Knight g6 takes. Okay, that's a really long line. Let me let you in on what I'm thinking. Knight g6. Threatening queen h8 mate. H7. Queen takes. Bishop f6. Takes. Sorry. Takes. Then I'm stuck. No, that doesn't seem to work. Do I test him first with rook c8? Okay, let's do that. I test him if he takes with the queen or what exactly. Yeah, with the bishop is correct. Okay, now. So I take on e5. He takes back. I play knight g6. I don't know, man. I just don't know. I don't know. Wish I could get a rook left in. That would be helpful. Problem is, like, queen takes e6 check ideas aren't working because his bishop is covering. Maybe I move my bishop out of the way, like bishop h6, and play for f4. Yeah, okay, maybe. Not so sure about that. Bishop takes e5, f takes. Bishop takes e5, f takes, g6, rook h7. I wish I had some kind of fork, but I don't. Like with queen takes h7 check, but that doesn't work. Queen takes e5, bishop f6. It doesn't even have to play bishop f6, but I mean it's one line. I feel I missed a big win, man. I just feel I missed a big win. And damn. Just bishop h6 and f4. Maybe. Does he get f5 in then? Then I return. Then I retreat to f4. should be a good move. Not so sure though. Bishop f8, f4, takes, he moves the knight. How good is my position then? So complicated, God. I also have knight f5 ideas, followed by bishop a2. Let's not forget that. Now that the bishop isn't here, so he can't play bishop d5. Actually, even then, maybe bishop d5 might be possible. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely missed something. This should be completely winning, but I don't know. I have an idea. Roar! Yeah, obvious. Now if f4 takes. What if f4 he just moves the knight? Something to consider also. Okay, f4 I do play f5 though. That's good. Okay, I didn't come here not to play f4. Should be careful of diagonal checks, but see, this is why. Okay, I knew b6 on move 9 was a mistake because I calculated this entire variation, and now if he had b5 he might have had queen b6 check, but now because he's played b6 he doesn't have that. See, I calculated 15 moves deep. No. 15 moves, that's more like 30 because half moves, 30 half moves. Yeah, when people say they're calculating 15 moves deep, they mean 15 half moves deep. Yeah, so should I take the knight or the bishop? I think the bishop. No reason to take that knight. No, at least I have a 5. Yeah, my whole point was a 5, of course. A 5 he maybe plays queen e7, but then I play knight g6. Oh wow, I missed that. Wait, check. Oh no. Shoot. Face palm. Oh god, please. Knight e3 I don't really care about, but I thought I had the check here. I don't. He plays rook g7. I look like a stooge. Well, maybe that's what I have to play. Maybe that's what I have to play. that was stupid. Should have maybe taken the knight here. No, then he gets the bishop. Maybe the whole idea with bishop h6, bishop f8. I shouldn't have played a 4, maybe even. Maybe just bishop e3. Ah! Okay, I'll just play this. I feel stupid. Now with f5, I'm considering sacking. Yeah. Considering knight f5, bishop a2. Knight f5, bishop a2, he might get queen e7 and... What a friggin' messy game. Ah, he plays f5. Okay, I shouldn't worry so much. I mean, worst case scenario, we draw this, right? He can't win this position ever. Maybe check and threaten queen e6, right? Yeah, well, if I'm going for these cheap shots, I should play them more quickly. Play them more quickly, that's what I said. He fell for it! Or am I mistaken? No, I'm not. Queen takes e6 check. He takes, I take the queen with check. And I take the bishop, and I'm up a piece. Thank you! Tactics! Yay. Okay. Well, I mean, there was no way to prevent it anyway. King h8, I also play queen e6. King f8, I played. So, it was working out for me tactically. So, I guess he shouldn't take now. He'll play something else. But then I get knight f5 in, and I attack his rook. So that should be good. So where to with the king? Probably it's better for me to play bishop f5. Like if he goes king h8 now, maybe bishop f5 is better. Because I'm threatening the knight then. Yeah. So that was, yeah, maybe bishop f5 now. I need to make sure he doesn't have a desperado though. So queen h4 I check. Takes, okay. Yeah, queen h4 I check on e8. I'm winning. And anything else? Okay, let's hope I'm not messing something up. Check. Check. Yeah, at least get the 2 minors. So if he takes now, I take, he retreats, can take, he takes, I take, and I'm winning. Yeah. And if queen h4, I have queen e8 as an intermediate move. God, he's still finding ways to fight on. But now knight check wins, right? Yeah. I'm an idiot. I'm a bumbling idiot. He has queen c5. It's a good thing I have the mate. It's a good thing I have the mate. Because now knight check, I just go up. They have the mate. Yeah, but I did not see that. What a friggin' stooge I am. Why am I not using my time? Oh my god. Do I really want to mess this position up? Do I really want that? It's embarrassing. God. Should have used my time. This is how I lose classical games. It's so difficult for me to focus. Okay, okay. The storm has passed. Calm down. Awesome. So nice game overall, I'd say. I probably messed up in the conversion. Maybe I had better opportunities in the opening, though I don't think so. I want to take a look at a3 also. But overall, a nice game. I think me waiting so much, maybe bishop d3. Like the first time I waited with a3 was fine. But maybe bishop d3. Okay, so as a summary for this game, it's rude. He hasn't resigned. He may have something I'm missing because I'm just talking like an idiot. Okay, so let's wait till the game is finished before we summarize it. It's very rude to do that. Yeah, but I don't see anything. I think this is good. Thing is, even if he like sacrifices on f5, I take, he takes, have a check, and I pick up the bishop. So even that isn't working for him. Okay, good game. I'll be in the analysis board. Isn't that your job? Funny. Lucas. Okay, so let's see where I went wrong. Looking at the chat. Fates too. Well, they can... Yeah, of course I do like slow chess, but... Nah, I do like slow chess. My preferred time control, like running, I like running for 100 meters. My preferred time control is blitz also, like something in between. But yeah, of course I like long time control, just as I like marathons. Oh wow, look at that graph. Nice. Okay, so it seems I didn't make any mistake, basically. Bishop c4 the engine doesn't like, because it's at low depths. Ah, here knight d5 immediately. Yeah, I was considering that. But I didn't like it because of this. And now I can't play d6. So the engine just wants to make this kind of sacrifice and not even return the piece. Like threaten something with d6 and the usual Morra style. That's not something I'd consider. I'm sorry, Mr. Engine. So I had knight d5 here. We had bishop c5. Okay, I'll keep knight d5 in mind. e5, there's f5. I don't think there's a better move than e5. And now what I played is good. Excellent to know that. So it seems all throughout this game there were maybe minor inaccuracies here. Yeah, rook h4, rook d4 here. I was considering this, but I was afraid of knight d6. Bishop c5 doesn't work because I take, he takes, I take, and I'm winning. Rook d4, maybe knight c6. Okay, but maybe what? I don't know. Maybe something like this. Wait, no, that's silly. I don't know. Here, knight c6. Okay, I could always retreat the rook. Yeah, okay. I'm not looking really for improvements here. Well, actually I am, but you know. Yeah, so I wanted to take... I was thinking of the knight. Yeah, with the bishop makes sense also, trying to get the knight. Because I always have knight h6 check, right? I can take, and if he takes with the queen or rook, I have knight h6 picking up the material. Well, no, if he takes with the rook, I would blunder the queen, but you get what I'm saying with the queen. So yeah, that may be an improvement also. But overall, I played pretty well. Even that at the end, it was a scare because I didn't calculate it, but yeah, the graph shows I played pretty well. Okay, so well, this line doesn't seem to work as well because he wasted too much time. Queen c7 here is mixing up systems, kind of. He should play d6 first, because his main problem was allowing me playing e5. And now I think he's struggling for equality, even though the engine at this depth gives 0, but it's not a 0 position. The f5 was interesting for him to consider, yeah. I didn't even consider it during the game, which is strange. f5, I shouldn't take probably, because then his knight develops. Though that does give me an open file and open lines to work with. But I probably shouldn't take, just to give his knight problems like I did with the game. At b6 I would go for b5, to be honest. I would go for b5. Okay, you get my bishop to a diagonal it wants to go to, which is maybe the d3 diagonal. But at least you have b4 ideas. There is no weak pawn on b6. I don't know, it seems better. And something to consider during this game, a very important move. Oh, knight e4 doesn't like so much. Okay, that's interesting. Bishop d3. Yeah, I found this bishop takes f5 idea way too late. a3 is a very important move, just because I noticed, where does he castle? He doesn't have anywhere to castle. And he ended up castling kingside. And this is a slight inaccuracy, but I think it's basically losing now. So this is something. But otherwise, what can he do? Like play rook c8, I take on a6. He has no plan here. So when you notice that your opponent is basically in Zugzwang, correct pronunciation for the Germans out there. This is actually something I talk about in my video against the ex-Lebanese champion, Afam Amr al-Jawish. I played this. It's titled middle game Zugzwang. The video. You can find it on my channel also. He didn't have anything to play, and this comes about from the Scheveningen Svechnikov and the Morra. Something I'm noticing quite frequently. Now again, we see that black is basically paralyzed. And because of this kind of paralysis, he wasn't able to do anything. Okay, so a nice game. I hope you got something out of it, and cheers guys, see you later.